If you've ever blown up an account, hesitated on a winning setup, or let fear and frustration hijack your trades, you already know the biggest battle in trading isn't on the charts, it's in your mind. Welcome to Trading Psychology That Works, where we dive into the timeless lessons of Dr. Brett Steenbarger, one of the most respected voices in trader performance coaching. In this video, you'll discover why emotional control, self-awareness, and mindset mastery are more powerful than any indicator. This isn't just another strategy video. It's about rewiring the way you think so you can trade with clarity, discipline, and confidence, even in chaos. So grab your focus, hit that like button, and let's explore the mental edge that separates amateurs from professionals. Let's begin. Most traders enter the market looking for the perfect setup, the perfect indicator, the perfect strategy. But here's the harsh truth. No strategy will save you if your mind isn't ready. You can have a high probability system, a risk-reward ratio that makes math professors proud. But if you panic during losses, if you chase after winners, if you hesitate when it's time to act, that edge disappears instantly. And this is where Dr. Brett Steenbarger starts the psychology of trading with a bold but essential truth. Trading is a performance activity, not just a technical game. Just like elite athletes, traders must execute in real time under stress with real consequences on the line. And the greatest threat? It's not the market. It's you, your emotional responses, your self-talk, your mental habits. Steenbarger introduces what he calls the performance curve, a concept every serious trader must understand. Picture a bell curve. At the very top, you're at your psychological peak. Calm, focused, fully present. Your execution is clean. Your mind is in sync with the market, but slide too far in either direction, and performance begins to fall apart. Too much stress, you become reactive, impulsive. Too little emotion, you become passive, disengaged. Either way, you're no longer trading with clarity. The goal, stay near the peak of that curve as often as possible, not by being emotionless, but by being emotionally aware and in control. That's what separates the professionals from the amateurs. Not better tools, not secret knowledge, just better internal management. Let's look at an example. Imagine you've just taken a big loss. What's your first instinct? For most traders, it's revenge, the urge to win it back fast. Your heart races, your focus narrows, and suddenly you're no longer trading your plan, you're trading your pain. This is what Steenbarger calls emotional hijacking. Your prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain, gets overridden by fight or flight instincts. And now instead of sticking to a system, you're stuck in survival mode. Or how about the flip side? You're on a winning streak. Everything you touch turns to gold. Confidence surges, but it turns into overconfidence. You double your position size, you skip your stop loss, you break your rules because now you feel invincible. And that's when the market humbles you. One bad trade wipes out a week's worth of gains. You crash hard and you wonder what went wrong. What went wrong was psychology. Strategy doesn't fail because it's bad. It fails because the trader executing it is mentally unstable. That's why Steenbarger insists you must treat trading like a performance profession. That means tracking your mindset as closely as your P&L. That means journaling not just your entries and exits, but your emotional state, your thoughts, your reactions. Think about this. If an athlete has a bad game, they review the footage. They analyze what they did, how they felt, what triggered the drop in performance. As a trader, you need to do the same. Every trade is a window into your mental game. So here's your first practical takeaway. Start keeping a performance journal. After each trade, jot down, what was I feeling before I entered? Did I hesitate or rush? Did I follow my rules or break them? What triggered my emotional response? Over time, you'll start to see patterns. Maybe you notice you take more risk after a win, or maybe you freeze up after a loss. These patterns are gold because once you're aware of them, you can start to change them. Steenbarger says the market is a mirror. It reflects not just your strategy, but your psychology. If your internal world is chaotic, your trades will be too. But if your mind is disciplined, grounded, and self-aware, even a basic strategy can outperform. Stop chasing perfection in your tools. Start building strength in your mindset, because in the long run, it's not the strategy that wins. It's the trader behind the strategy. This is why psychology matters more than strategy, and this is where your trading transformation begins. Let's be honest. Emotions are the reason most traders fail, not the market, not the economy. Emotions. Think about the last bad trade you made. Was it really your strategy that failed? Or was it fear or greed or frustration taking the wheel? Dr. Brett Steenbarger says it best. Emotions are not your enemy, they're signals. But if you ignore them or let them control you, they become your worst enemy. Let's break that down. Imagine you're staring at the screen. You see a great setup. It fits your criteria. You've traded this before, but this time you hesitate. Why? Because last week a similar trade ended in a loss. Your hand freezes. Your brain floods with doubt. You start thinking, what if I lose again? What if the market fakes me out? That's not logic. That's fear, masquerading as caution. Or maybe the opposite happens. You just hit 3 winners in a row. Confidence turns into excitement. Excitement becomes impulsiveness. You jump into a fourth trade, no setup, no confirmation, just FOMO. That's greed, masquerading as opportunity. This is how emotions sabotage traders. Not in loud, obvious ways, but in subtle shifts in judgment, timing, and decision making. And the worst part? Most of us aren't even aware it's happening. Steenbarger teaches us that emotional awareness is the first step to emotional mastery. He compares emotions to signals on a dashboard. Fear is like a flashing check engine light. Greed is like the gas gauge screaming full throttle. The signal itself isn't the problem. The problem is when you ignore the signal or misread it. So, how do we start working with our emotions, not against them? Step 1, stop suppressing. Start observing. If you're scared, acknowledge it. If you're frustrated, write it down. If you feel overconfident, pause and reflect. Steenbarger says the most dangerous emotion is the one you pretend you don't feel. Here's a powerful exercise. Keep an emotion log during your trading sessions. Every 30 minutes, pause and write down, what am I feeling? What triggered it? Triggered it? Is it helping or hurting my trading right now? You'll start to see patterns. Maybe Mondays bring anxiety. Maybe losses make you reckless. Maybe wins make you arrogant. These aren't random. They're habits wired into your brain. But the good news, habits can be rewired. Let's go deeper into 3 core emotions that affect every trader. 1, fear, the paralyzer. Fear often shows up as hesitation, indecision, or avoidance. You're afraid of losing money. You're afraid of being wrong. You're afraid of repeating past mistakes. But here's the truth. Fear isn't trying to destroy you. It's trying to protect you. The key is to separate real risk from imagined danger. And you do that by pre-accepting risk. Before every trade, ask, am I truly okay with this loss? If the answer is no, don't take the trade, because fear will dominate you the moment it goes against you. 2, greed, the illusionist. Greed disguises itself as ambition. It whispers, go bigger, just one more, you can't miss this move. But Steenbarger warns, greed is just hope on steroids, and hope has no place in professional trading. Not only so, the cure for greed is structure, fixed position sizes, predetermined targets, non-negotiable rules. Don't leave room for temptation. Build a system that removes the need to hope at all. 3, frustration, the saboteur. Frustration is sneaky. It shows up after a string of small losses or when the market doesn't reward your effort. You start asking, why isn't this working? I followed the rules. This isn't fair. And before you know it, you're chasing trades, forcing setups, breaking your rules. That's revenge trading, one of the fastest paths to disaster. Steenbarger's advice? Step away, take a walk, reset. If you're trading with frustration in your system, your vision is clouded. The market doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't care how hard you worked. It only responds to the decisions you make now. So here's your mental checklist for emotional mastery. Name what you're feeling, identify the trigger. Ask, is this helping or hurting me right now? Respond with discipline, not impulse. And remember, emotions are not the enemy of trading. They're feedback. Listen to them. Don't obey them. If you can learn to hear your fear without acting on it, if you can notice greed without feeding it, if you can accept frustration without reacting to it, then your emotions stop being enemies and start becoming allies. because when emotions are aligned with discipline, they become fuel, not fire. That's what emotional mastery is all about, not suppressing what you feel, but training how you respond. The trader who can do this day in and day out doesn't just survive the markets, they thrive in them. There's a common belief in the trading world: just copy what works for others. But here's the problem: you're not them. Their strategy might be profitable, their risk tolerance might be high, their decisions might be fast, and fearless. But if your personality doesn't match their style, you're setting yourself up for burnout, anxiety, and inconsistency. Dr. Brett Steenbarger emphasizes this throughout The Psychology of Trading. Your trading success is limited not by the market, but by your self-awareness. In other words, you must know yourself first before you can master the market. So let's dive deep into how your personality, your wiring, your tendencies shapes your performance as a trader. 1. Trading is not one size fits all. Think of it like this: some people love skydiving, others feel more comfortable hiking a quiet trail. Both are valid adventures. But if you force a cautious person into skydiving, what happens? Panic, stress, regret, and likely never doing it again. The same applies to trading. If you're someone who needs time to make decisions, forcing yourself into high-speed scalping will feel overwhelming. On the other hand, if you're a thrill seeker by nature, slow swing trades might bore you into recklessness. Number 2, risk tolerance. What's your emotional threshold? Risk tolerance is one of the clearest personality markers in trading. Are you comfortable with volatility and drawdowns? Or do red candles keep you up at night? Steenbarger makes it clear: trading against your risk personality creates chronic stress, and chronic stress destroys performance. Here's the solution: build your trading plan to fit your natural risk comfort zone. If you're more conservative, focus on defined setups, tighter stop losses, and smaller position sizes. If you thrive on risk, consider approaches with wider ranges but with strict discipline. The key is to respect your threshold, because the moment you trade beyond it, fear takes over. And when fear leads, logic dies. 3. Decision-making style. Are you analytical or intuitive? Some traders need data. They want to backtest, chart, and calculate before every move. Others operate on instinct, a feeling, a market tone, a sense that something's happening. Both styles can succeed, but problems arise when you're an analytical thinker trying to trust your gut, or when you're intuitive but buried under spreadsheets you don't care about. Self-awareness here is critical. Ask yourself, do I feel more confident when I have data backing my decisions, or do I thrive when I have flexibility and flow? Your answer helps define how you should structure your strategy. 4. Emotional resilience. Can you bounce back? Losses are guaranteed in trading, but how you handle them is personal. Some traders bounce back quickly. Others carry that loss for days, mentally, emotionally. Steenbarger explains that emotional resilience is tied deeply to personality traits like optimism, emotional stability, and self-compassion. If you're emotionally sensitive, don't judge yourself, but do take extra steps to protect your mindset, like journaling, meditating, and reducing exposure after losses. If you're naturally resilient, your edge is your ability to keep going. Just be careful of overconfidence. 5. Case study: Sarah the Overthinker. Let me share a quick story that Brett tells in his book. There was a trader, let's call her Sarah. Sarah was brilliant. She had a background in data science, loved research, and analyzed charts like a pro. But she was surrounded by day traders who thrived on fast decisions. She tried to keep up, scalping small moves, making split-second calls. The result? Stress, second-guessing, and poor performance. She wasn't bad at trading. She was just trading against her personality. When she switched to swing trading, slower pace, more analysis time, her results improved dramatically. Why? Because she stopped fighting her nature and started aligning with it. 6. So how do you discover your trading personality? Steenbarger suggests asking a few key questions. What types of trades do I feel most comfortable executing? When do I make the most mistakes? After a win, a loss, or during uncertainty? Do I need structure and routine, or do I thrive on adaptability? You can also take personality assessments like the Big Five or MBTI to uncover traits like risk tolerance, decision style, and emotional volatility. But the most valuable data comes from your trading journal. Look at your past 20 trades. Review not just the outcomes, but the feelings. the mental state, the decisions made before the entry. That's where your true trader profile lives. Number 7, play to your strengths, protect your weaknesses. Once you understand yourself, the next step is clear. Build a strategy around your strengths. If you're great at spotting trends, don't force yourself into range trading. If you're patient but precise, consider position trading. If you thrive under pressure and love speed, scalping might be your lane. And just as important, design guardrails for your weaknesses. Prone to overtrading, set daily trade limits. Get shaken by losses, pre-accept risk every time. Struggle with confidence, build a support system. 8. Final thought. Self-awareness is your ultimate edge. The market rewards discipline, strategy, and timing, but none of that matters if it's built on a foundation that goes against who you are. Steenbarger reminds us, traders fail not because they lack knowledge, but because they lack self-knowledge. So, if you want lasting success, don't just copy others. Study yourself and trade in a way that feels authentic, aligned, and sustainable. Because when your strategy reflects who you are, you stop fighting the market and start flowing with it. Let's get something straight. Trading isn't just a numbers game, it's a focus game. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if your mind is foggy, distracted, or emotionally scattered, you won't execute. That's why Dr. Brett Steenbarger dedicates an entire section of the psychology of trading to what he calls mental clarity, the ability to stay sharp, focused, and rational in real time. And to get there, you need tools. Cognitive tools, behavioral tools, mental frameworks to keep you grounded when the market tests your mind. 1. The mental fog that kills performance. Have you ever hesitated on a perfect setup, or second-guessed a winning trade, or frozen when the market suddenly turned? That's not because you didn't know what to do. It's because you weren't mentally clear. Steenbarger explains, stress, emotional fatigue, and mental clutter shut down your decision-making center at the prefrontal cortex. Instead, your brain defaults to fight or flight mode. That means impulsive exits, irrational entries, and broken discipline. Goal, keep the prefrontal cortex online so you trade with logic, not panic. Create a distract-free environment. It may sound simple, but it's powerful. If your trading space is full of noise, alerts buzzing, social media open, browser tabs everywhere, your brain is already split before you even take a trade. Steenbarger's advice? Make your trading desk a performance zone. One screen for charts, no extra apps during sessions, phone on silent, one notebook for tracking thoughts. Protect your attention like it's capital, because in trading, it is. 3. Pre-session mental rehearsal. Before athletes compete, they visualize performance. They mentally rehearse winning, staying focused, staying composed. Traders should do the same. Spend 5 minutes before the session mentally walking through your strategy, what an ideal trade looks like, how you'll handle stress, losses, or boredom. This primes your brain to follow the plan and reduces hesitation when it's game time. Chapter 4, mindfulness. Trading in the present moment. When your mind is in the past, replaying mistakes, or in the future, fantasizing about profits, you're no longer trading the market, you're trading your imagination. Steenbarger is a strong advocate of mindfulness, not as spirituality, but as mental discipline. Stay fully engaged with what's happening now. No judgment, no ego, no fear. Try deep breathing, counting breaths, body scanning. These simple practices snap you back to the present, where clarity lives and execution happens. Sure 5. Journaling for cognitive awareness. A trading journal isn't just about setups and P&L, it's your most powerful psychological mirror. Steenbarger recommends journaling. 1. What did I do? Entries, exits, setups. 2. What was I thinking and feeling? 3. What mental biases showed up? Over time, this helps you spot patterns. Confirmation bias, only seeing what supports your view. Recency bias, assuming the next trade will be like the last. Loss aversion, holding losers too long. Write it down. Awareness leads to change. Header 6. Break the overthinking loop with decision scripts. Ever stare at a setup so long you talk yourself out of it? That's the overthinking trap, and it kills execution. Steenbarger's solution? Decision scripts, short rational checklists to ground you. Examples. Does this setup match my plan? Yes or no? Am I trading the chart or my emotions? What's my risk, and am I okay losing it? These simple questions break emotional noise and keep your logic in control. 7. Use timed breaks to reset mental state. Trading for hours without rest is like sprinting a marathon. You burn out, decision quality plummets. Steenbarger recommends structured breaks, even just 2 to 5 minutes each hour. Stretch, breathe, step away from the screen. You'll return with oxygen in your brain, lower stress, and renewed focus. 8. Set process oriented goals, not just profits. Here's a clarity hack most ignore. Stop chasing profits, start chasing process. Set execution based goals like follow my plan 100%, take no impulsive entries, stay calm through a losing trade, journal every session. These are controllable goals, and they shift your focus from did I make money to did I trade well today? That shift removes emotional noise and sharpens your clarity.
9.
Use visualization to program confidence. Confidence isn't something you hope for, it's something you train. Daily visualization can help. Picture yourself executing calmly, following your rules, walking away after a loss without tilt. Over time, your brain treats these visualizations like real memories and responds with more stability in real time pressure. 10. Final thought: your mind is your edge. In the end, trading isn't about who has the most indicators or who reads the most news. It's about who can stay clear headed when it matters most. Steenbarger puts it simply: when your mind is sharp, your trading follows. When it's clouded, no system can save you. So train your clarity, guard your focus, sharpen your mental edge, because the most powerful trading tool isn't your chart, it's your mind. Every trader will face it: a crushing loss, a string of losing trades, a day when nothing goes right and everything feels broken. The question is not if it will happen, it's how you respond when it does. Dr. Brett Steenbarger puts it clearly: resilience is the difference between a temporary setback and long term self destruction. It's what separates traders who bounce back from those who spiral into fear, revenge trading, or quitting altogether. 1. What is emotional resilience in trading? Emotional resilience is not about being emotionless. It's not about pretending everything's okay. It's about your ability to stay grounded during chaos, recover from losses, maintain discipline, even when you're frustrated, tired, or afraid. Resilient traders don't avoid stress, they process it and then respond with clarity. 2. The stress spiral that destroys traders. Here's how most traders fall apart. 1. You take a loss. 2. You feel shame, anger, or fear. 3. You immediately try to make it back. 4. You take poor trades. 5. You lose more, and now you're emotionally flooded. This is the stress spiral, and if left unchecked, it becomes a pattern, one that can ruin your confidence, your capital, and your career. Steenbarger teaches that we must interrupt the spiral before it accelerates. 3. Recognize the early warning signs. The first step is awareness. Know the signs that your emotions are taking over. You feel urgency to act fast. You ignore your stop loss. You're trading larger than usual. You think, I just need one big trade to fix this. When you spot these patterns, it's time to pause, not push. 4. The power of pause. Stepping away to reset, Steenbarger recommends a simple but powerful tactic. Take a 15-minute walk after a losing trade or emotional spike. No charts, no trading talk, just movement and breathing. Why does this work? It lowers cortisol, the stress hormone. It re-engages your rational brain. It stops you from compounding mistakes. The pause isn't weakness, it's mental capital preservation. Part 5. Reframing losses from pain to feedback. Most traders see losses as failure, but Steenbarger encourages us to see them as feedback. Instead of asking, why do I suck? Ask, what did this teach me about my decision making? Was it the strategy or my emotional reaction? When you look at losses with curiosity, not judgment, you gain insights, and insights lead to growth. 6. Emotional journaling. After losses. After a tough session, don't just review the trades, review your inner world. Try this journaling structure. What emotions did I feel after the loss? What thoughts did I have? How did those emotions affect my next actions? What could I have done differently to stay calm? This self-reflection builds emotional intelligence, and over time, it turns breakdowns into breakthroughs. Build a daily mental recovery routine. Steenbarger often compares trading to elite sports, and just like athletes need recovery days, so do traders. Here are tools he recommends to recharge your mental and emotional energy. Meditation. Even 5 minutes of deep breathing calms your nervous system. Gratitude journaling. List 3 non-trading wins to balance your mindset. Exercise. Movement clears mental clutter and boosts focus. Sleep. Prioritize rest after volatile sessions. These aren't luxury habits, they're trader survival tools. 8. Know when to take a full break. Some days, the best trade is no trade at all. If you notice, you're not thinking clearly, you're emotionally flooded, you're breaking rules over and over, it's okay to walk away for a day, a weekend, or even a week. Steenbarger calls this psychological capital protection. Just like you protect your financial account, you must protect your mental edge. 9. Resilience is a skill, not a trait. You might be thinking, I'm just not emotionally strong. But here's the truth. Resilience is built one trade, one recovery, one reset at a time. Every time you lose, but don't break. Every time you pause instead of chase. Every time you reflect instead of rage, you're rewiring your brain for strength, and that strength compounds until you become the kind of trader who can face market chaos with calm. Final thought, your greatest comeback is always ahead. Trading will challenge you, not just technically, but emotionally. But in those hard moments, that's where true mastery is forged. Steenbarger reminds us, the goal is not to avoid stress, it's to build the capacity to thrive under it. So next time you're shaken, don't try to force a win. Recenter, recover, reset. Because real strength isn't how you trade when things are easy, it's how you bounce back when everything goes wrong. By now, you understand the core of trading psychology. Strategy isn't enough. Mindset is everything. But here's the next level. Even with the right psychology, you still need a plan, not just a trading plan, a personalized trading plan, one that fits your life, your brain, and your emotional profile. Why most trading plans fail. Most trading plans are copied, pulled from a forum, a mentor, or a course. But what works for someone else might be totally misaligned with you. That's why Dr. Brett Steenbarger says a trading plan is a blueprint of your psychology in action. Your plan must reflect your risk tolerance, your decision-making style, your schedule, your emotional triggers, your goals. 2. Your plan must fit your lifestyle. Ask yourself, how much time can I realistically dedicate to trading each day? When am I mentally sharpest? Morning, afternoon, or evening? Can I focus for long periods or do I need structure and breaks? If you work full time and try to scalp the open, you'll burn out. If you're wired for fast action, swing trading might feel too slow. A trading plan should enhance your life, not fight it. 3. Define your strategy. Clear, simple, repeatable. Your plan should answer these 5 questions. 1. What markets will I trade? Forex, stocks, futures, crypto. 2. What setups will I focus on? Breakouts, pullbacks, trend reversals. 3. What are my entry rules? Technical, fundamental, both. 4. Where is my stop loss and why? 5. How will I manage and exit trades? Steenbarger emphasizes clarity. The more ambiguity in your rules, the more room for emotional interference. Remove guesswork. Define rules that protect you from yourself. 4. Build risk management around your psychology. Not everyone can stomach a 10% drawdown, and you don't have to. Your plan should define max percent risk per trade, daily loss limits, max number of trades per session, conditions under which you stop trading. These are your safety rails for your capital and your emotions. 5. Schedule your process. Structure reduces stress. Steenbarger teaches that discipline is easiest when it's built into routine. Break your trading day into 3 zones. Pre-market routine, analysis, visualization, mindset check. Live session rules, execution, journaling, behavior monitoring. Post-market review, performance grading, emotional journaling. Routines anchor you. They reduce mental load. They help you stay centered when pressure builds. Incorporate self-coaching into your plan. Steenbarger pioneered self-coaching for traders. Your plan should include tools like emotional check-ins, trade debriefs, progress reviews, pattern tracking. This turns your trading plan into a growth engine, not just for profits, but for SA. 7. Use metrics that actually matter most. Traders track one thing, P&L, but profits are outcomes, not behaviors. Track process metrics like percent of trades that followed your plan, emotional control rating, 1 to 10, number of impulsive trades, journaling consistency. These are the metrics that build long-term consistency. Track them daily, review them weekly. 8. Create what-if protocols for common challenges. The best traders plan for adversity. Write out action plans for situations like, what if I start the day with 2 losses? What if I feel overconfident after a win streak? What if I'm bored and tempted to overtrade? By predefining your responses, you take power away from emotion and give it back to structure. 9. Make it visual, make it yours. Your trading plan shouldn't sit in a folder collecting dust. Make it visual, active, and alive. Print and post your rules. Use checklists. Highlight your top 3 emotional triggers. Add a mantra or affirmation that grounds you. This isn't just a plan, it's your mental performance map. 10. Final thought. When the plan fits you, you follow it. Think about why most traders abandon their plans. It was copied from someone else, it was too complex, it didn't align with their strengths or lifestyle. But when a plan fits you, you trust it, you stick to it. And when the market shakes you, it brings you back to center. Steenbarger says, discipline is not about forcing yourself, it's about aligning your actions with who you are. So build a plan that reflects your personality, supports your growth, and protects you in the storm. Because when your strategy and your psychology finally align, that's when real consistency begins. Let's face it, most traders don't have access to a psychologist. No weekly calls, no performance coaches, no therapy sessions after a bad loss. But what if you didn't need one? What if the best coach you'll ever have is already inside you? That's exactly what Dr. Brett Steenbarger teaches. Great traders learn to coach themselves. They become both performer and psychologist. And in this chapter, you'll learn how to do the same. 1. What is self-coaching? Self-coaching is not about being perfect. It's not about forcing yourself to trade like a robot. It's about building a habit of observing yourself honestly, asking powerful questions, adjusting behavior without judgment. Self-coaching is how you turn every trade, every mistake, every emotion into a lesson that moves you forward. Haver 2. Step 1. Build a 2-part mindset. Performer plus observer. Most traders operate in only one mode, performer. They're focused on charts, entries, exits, but they ignore the second half of the equation, the observer. The observer is the part of you that asks, why did I enter that trade emotionally? What was I feeling when I broke that rule? How can I do better tomorrow? Steenbarger calls this dual awareness. You must act in the market while also watching yourself act. When you activate both roles, you stop being reactive and start becoming reflective. 3. Step 2. Use a performance journal, not just a trade log. Most trading journals are full of numbers, price, entry, exit, P&L. But a self-coaching journal goes deeper. What was I thinking during this trade? What emotions came up before, during, and after? Did I follow my plan or let emotion drive? This is where real growth lives, because once you document your inner patterns, you can intervene. 4. Step 3. Create a daily self-coaching checklist. Steenbarger recommends designing mental checklists to review daily. These help track your behavior and mindset, not just your P&L. Example checklist. Did I follow my plan 100%? Did I pause when I felt emotional? Did I review my journal from yesterday? Did I stay focused and distraction-free? Did I end the session with reflection? These micro checks keep your psychology on track, even when the market isn't. 5. Step 4. Ask better questions. Bad traders beat themselves up. Why am I so stupid? Why do I always mess up? Good traders ask better questions. What triggered that emotional trade? How did my energy affect my focus today? What can I do tomorrow to avoid this pattern? Questions shape awareness. Awareness creates choice. Choice leads to change. 6, step 5, talk to yourself like a coach, not a critic. Imagine you're coaching a younger version of yourself after a tough trading day. Would you scream at them? Would you shame them? Or would you say, yes, you made mistakes today, but here's what we learned. Here's what we do tomorrow. That's compassionate, clear, forward looking. Steenbarger reminds us how you speak to yourself becomes how you treat yourself under pressure. That is 7. Step 6, build feedback loops. Feedback is how athletes grow. They watch film, they analyze, they adjust. As a trader, you are your own film reviewer. Weekly routine, review 10 trades. Identify top 2 mistakes. Write a plan to fix just one next week. Track progress daily. This loop turns awareness into action and action into habits. 8. Step 7. Track emotional triggers and pre-breakdown patterns. Emotional meltdowns don't happen out of nowhere. They leave clues. You might notice you overtrade after big wins, you revenge trade after 2 red trades, you ignore stop losses when you're tired. Track these in your journal. Steenbarger calls them pre-breakdown patterns. The more you identify them early, the easier it becomes to prevent disaster. 9, step 8. Use affirmations grounded in behavior. Affirmations aren't magic, but when used properly, they anchor your mind. Not I'm a millionaire, but I execute my plan with discipline. I can pause, reset, and regain focus. Each trade is a chance to grow. Repeat them daily. Post them at your desk. Make your self-talk match your behavior goals. Hashra 10. Final thought. Coach yourself to greatness. You won't always be perfect. You will break rules. You will get emotional. But every time you reflect, every time you journal, every time you pause and ask, what did I learn? You're becoming the kind of trader who doesn't just trade well, but who trains well. Steenbarger closes with this powerful reminder. Your greatest edge isn't your system. It's your ability to evolve. Self-coaching makes that evolution possible. So become the trader who doesn't wait for help. Become the trader who coaches themselves to mastery, day after day. You've made it through fear and discipline, through resilience and reflection, through every hard truth about trading psychology and every powerful tool to transform it. And now it's time to take a breath and look at the big picture. Hashtag 1. Trading is more than a skill, it's a mirror. One of the core messages from Dr. Brett Steenbarger is this: the market doesn't just reveal your strategy, it reveals yourself. Every win, every loss, every decision on the screen, it all reflects what's going on inside you, your beliefs, your habits, your confidence, your fears. That's why trading becomes more than just a job or a path to freedom. It becomes a journey of self-awareness. 2, the inner game will always outweigh the outer game. Systems change. Markets evolve, indicators get replaced, but the one constant in your trading career is you. And that's why the greatest traders, the ones who last, focus as much on their mindset as they do on their market knowledge. Because they know clarity beats cleverness, consistency beats complexity, psychology beats prediction. 3, from reactivity to response. Think back to the old you, the one who chased losses, who froze when price moved fast, who broke rules in emotional storms. Now picture the new you, calm, focused, self-aware. This transformation didn't happen in one trade, but with each journal entry, recovery after a loss, honest review, you became a trader who responds instead of reacts, pauses instead of panics, reflects instead of regrets. 4. Mastery is a path, not a destination. There's no finish line, no perfect trader badge. There is only one day at a time, one decision at a time, one version of yourself to improve upon. Steenbarger reminds us you don't need to be better than everyone else. You just need to be better than the trader you were yesterday. That trader, they're always within reach. 5, your tools going forward. Let's recap what's in your mental toolkit. Emotional awareness, catching your mental state in real time. Self-coaching, journaling, reflecting, adjusting daily. Process-based thinking, focusing on how you trade, not just results. Personalized trading plan, designed for your brain and your lifestyle. Stress management routines, from pause breaks to full resets. These aren't nice to have, they're essential. And 6, you will fail, you will fall, but you will rise. Let's be real, you'll still mess up. There will still be bad days. fear, doubt, frustration, but now you're equipped, not just with strategies, but with self-mastery, and that's what matters most. 7. A final word from Dr. Brett Steenbarger. Steenbarger didn't write The Psychology of Trading to impress you. He wrote it to transform you. Through stories, coaching sessions, and raw honesty, he showed us that trading is one of the deepest forms of personal development. Treat it with that respect, and it will reward you with more than profit. It will make you stronger, smarter, more grounded, and more capable in every area of your life. The journey ahead. So what now? You move forward intentionally. You choose progress over perfection. You trade with purpose. You journal with honesty. You grow, fail, reset, and grow again. Because this isn't just about markets. This is about becoming the best version of yourself, even under pressure. 9. You are the edge. It's not your indicator. It's not your signal service. It's not your algorithm. It's you. You are the edge. You are the system. You are the strategy. And when you master your mindset, the market stops being a battlefield and becomes a canvas. Final line. Take the journey seriously. If you've made it this far, you've done what most traders never do. You've gone beyond strategies and into the psychology that actually drives results. So take this seriously. Not someday, not next week. Now. Because every consistent trader has this in common. They stopped looking for answers out there and started building them from within. If this video resonated with you, if you saw your struggles, your breakthroughs, your future self in these lessons, then don't let it end here. Hit that like button to show YouTube this content matters. Subscribe to Psychology of Profit for more deep dives into trading psychology and performance mastery. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next lesson that could transform your mindset and your results. And here's your next step. Leave a comment below. Share the biggest insight you took from Brett Steenbarger's teachings. Let's grow together as a community of traders who think deeper, act smarter, and trade better. Remember, the market rewards those who master themselves first. Your journey doesn't stop here, it starts now. Until next time, trade well, trade wisely, and keep growing.